Okay, and welcome to video 12. In this video, what we're going to talk about is actually demonstrating the product, cottages, caravans, sites, etc. Okay, we need to find out if we're on track as we show, and we need to concentrate because we are getting close now. We're going to have to concentrate on keeping the relationship tension low. Okay, so how do we show caravans, cottages and sites? What do we talk about? How do we check we're on track? So at this stage, we're out on resort. We've made a selection of what we're going to show our customers, show our families. And please, at this stage, don't turn into a real estate agent, into an estate agent. When you open a room and in it there is a sink and a toilet, please don't say this is the bathroom and go into another room and there's a refrigerator and a range, a cooker and a fitted kitchen and say, and this is the kitchen. I think most of our customers pretty much get that, okay? Instead, this is the opportunity where we start to talk about what the customers had earlier told us what was relevant and important to them. So we use lines such as, okay, if you remember earlier, what you told me was so and so and so. Well, based on that, I've decided to show you this because it's so and so, and what that actually means to you, how that works for you, will be. Okay? So when we're demonstrating the product, we want to talk about what it is, what it does, but ultimately based on what you told me, how I see this working for you. So for example, I brought you to this particular site because if you remember earlier, you said to me that the family loved to be out in the sunshine. Well, this particular site, the door side of the caravan cottage, and so therefore the deck, faces due south. So it will have sunshine all day long, okay? The reason I brought you to this particular caravan stroke cottage, whilst it is in fact used and you really told me that new was relevant to you, I'm very conscious of your budget. And this unit has only just come back into stock. It is still very new, and I thought by showing you this, it may appeal to you and in turn save you some money. Okay. The reason that I brought you to this caravan cottage is that this particular unit has an ensuite bathroom. It's a bath and a half. And you told me that at times in the family, with all the kids and stuff, it's a bit of a crush for the bathroom. And so the reason I picked this is just thinking about that morning rush in the bathroom. This unit here is a bath and a half. It's got an ensuite loo. And I thought that that may help you. Okay? So, sell it. Don't be shy. Talk about what it is, what it does, but ultimately how that's going to affect, what that means to our customer. Okay. So next, how do we keep on track? How do we know if we're ticking the boxes? Well, on this one, for an actual caravan cottage demonstration, what I recommend you do is briefly talk the customers through the main points, what it is, what it does, what it means to you. But once you've done that, sit down, get out of their way, allow the family to go through it on their own and talk. Listen, you'll learn a lot, okay? And when the sort of the general conversation dies down, ask them this question. Would it be okay if we played a little game? I call it the 1 to 10 game. And what I'd like to do is, based on your expectation, what you hope to see, how do you rate this? How do you rate this caravan cottage on a scale of 1 to 10? And hopefully you will get a number. Now, what's really important here is that you get those individual numbers from different members of the family. Don't just take the number from one family member, and I'll explain why. Okay. There is the follow-up question. which irrespective of the number you get back, if you get a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I'm going to recommend that you say to them, once you have all the scores, okay, Mr. Smith, what would actually make it a 10 for you? And what about you, Mrs. Smith, and Johnny Smith, and Mary Smith? Because what does that actually do? What that does is it encourages conversation within the family. Because I promise you, in all my experience of doing this role, having the wisdom of Solomon doesn't work. If there is a clash between I want this and I want that within a family, it's very difficult for you as the salesperson to resolve that. And the earlier you highlight to your customers, to your family, that there's a difference there, the longer they have to resolve it. Because what you don't want to happen is get all the way to the end where you ask for the business and one of them says to the other, well, I really didn't like that very much in the caravan, in the cottage. Because then the relationship tension is going to be high. The customers will not they will not have that conversation about how to resolve the issue when there is high relationship tension. And they're certainly not going to be talking to you. Okay? So it's really important, would it be okay if I asked you, can we play this little game, scale of 1 to 10, based on your expectation, where does this one fit? Anything up to a 9, or up to and including a 9 is okay. In that case, what actually would make it a 10 for you? Now, if you get a 10, it's what would make it a 12? What would really blow your socks off? Okay? Because that reinforces to you that you're on track, but it also tells the family that everybody is happy. Oh, we all think this is a 9. Great. So it tells everybody in the family, yes, we like this. You get it creates a desire. Okay. So, next question on this. Say the maximum you've got is an 8. Okay, you've gone all the way through, or you're there. Will customers buy anything less than an 8? And I will put it to you that it's unlikely. So you've got to you're on a unit, it's an 8, but you're already at the top of the customer's budget. You're already at the top of their purchasing power they've told you about. So how do we deal with that? Here we go. Okay, as a family, I made you a promise. And that promise was that I would not take you to Caravans or Cottage outside the budget that you gave me without your permission. Okay? Without telling you what was going to happen. So, the next step up from this, from what we are right now, the next step up, I think probably would tick the boxes and get you much closer to the 10. However, it would mean an extra X on your deposit, your down payment, and probably an extra monthly of around X. On that basis, would you like to see it? You're going to get yes or no. If it's no, it absolutely tells you you're at top of budget. And if it's yes, we carry on, and one of several things will happen. The customers will see greater value and potentially justify a higher spend, or they will realize that actually their budget and their expectation may be slightly out of kilter, and hopefully what it will do is show them that actually for the money, the previous unit you showed them, their 7, their 8, is actually reasonable value. Unfortunately here, there will always be the odd family who have an expectation around the cottage or the caravan, which is unrealistic and will never fit their budget. Now, what I don't have is I don't have a magic wand and I don't have super duper pixie dust. Selling pixie dust, you sprinkle it on the customers, it means they're going to buy anything. There are going to be occasions that's going to happen, and quite frankly, there's not a lot you can do about that. Okay? So, rewind and go back again. So, just to quickly recap, this is the point where we are going to sell the product. This is not being an estate agent and telling customers a room with a toilet and a shower in it is a bathroom. They've pretty much figured that out in their lives, okay? It's the time to talk about the gems, the important things that they've historically told us during our tour. Earlier you told me that this was important. So I've picked this because this is what it is. This is what it does, but based on the knowledge you've given me, this is how I believe it's going to help you. Okay? When you're in caravans, cottages, or looking at sites, play the 1 to 10 game. It's really helpful. It's really helpful because it gets your family talking to each other and give them the realization, and you'll find quite often you'll get surprises. It gives them the realization that they are happy or that there's an issue. And if there's an issue, you want to do that when we're out looking at the stock because relationship tension is low. You don't want this potential objection to come up later when relationship tension is high. Okay? So, we haven't got magic pixie dust, but remember, don't take customers outside their budget unless you have their permission. Okay, thanks.